Alright, hey everyone, I wanted to make a video because it's been a while and 3.17 is coming out, so just wanted to give my input on some things and regarding the patch notes and everything that was announced. Obviously there's a million of these videos on YouTube, but here's another one. And I also wanted to just give my plans for the new expansion that is coming up and what I plan to do with my build, and yeah, just share my thoughts. So I plan to, and this might be a bit of a risky plan, I plan to league start with a accuracy stacking juggernaut. And obviously if anybody watching this has any experience with an accuracy stacking juggernaut or just knows about the build, you may know that this build gets pretty ludicrously expensive. The whole premise of this build is it revolves around stacking accuracy to pretty insane numbers. I think you can reach something like, with the best gear, you can get somewhere around 90,000 accuracy. And by stacking this main node here, Undeniable, which gives attack speed per 150 accuracy, also gain a lot of accuracy because of the strength. And by stacking a bunch of these Transcendent Spirit Jewels, paired along with Brutal Restraint, you can get a ton of accuracy from that. A couple more Transcendent Spirits in these two areas, and this is just Threat Hope. But in any case, the build stacks a crap ton of accuracy, and basically the whole premise is there are some things that scale the accuracy or the damage through the accuracy. So first there was obviously the Ascendancy node, which gives the 1% per 150, 1% attack speed. There is then a mod which gives 1% increased attack damage per 200 accuracy. There is then Obscurantis, which is a really nice accuracy stacking helm, which gives another 1% attack damage per 200 accuracy. So now we're talking 2% proj damage per 200 accuracy. And in addition to that, we get the Oscarm gloves, also just a auto include in this build, because they give 2% attack critical strike chance per 200 accuracy, which with the kind of end game or just end level of this build, basically these gloves just give you 100% crit chance. So you don't even need a diamond flask once you have enough accuracy with these gloves. So really insane. And then how do we scale all of this percent damage? We have all this percent damage, but how do we actually get the damage? Well, that's from the Storm Rider boots, which give 1 to 6 added lightning damage per 200 accuracy rating. So all in all, I think, again, the build has, from what I've heard, the build can get up to somewhere around 90,000 accuracy. And if we just divide that by 200, I mean, that is 450 times 6 to 2,700 attack lightning damage. And yeah, and then we get all the damage from the previously mentioned items. So that's how this build pretty much just becomes a crazy build, and unfortunately it can get extremely expensive with the most endgame gear. Precursor Rings, this one right here in particular, I believe to be worth around 2 to 4 mirrors, depending on the league and how popular the build is. But I think this ring right here is probably worth somewhere in the range of 2 to 3 mirrors. I would say is pretty standard. Obviously this ring isn't required. This is a bit of a lesser version of it, but also it has 2 of the accuracy rating mods. So there's just some things in this build that can just astronomically skyrocket the amount it costs. And also uses a replica Shroud of Lightness, which doesn't help either. Pretty expensive. So this is by no means a cheap build. And then here's this version using a Mage Blood. So really the sky's the limit on how much money you can really put into this build. Like these two items here alone are like probably like 5 mirrors or something like that. I don't know. So I think Major Bud got to like 750 exalts by the end of the league. So yeah, anyways, pretty insane stuff. So you might be wondering, how on earth am I going to league start with this build? It seems pretty impossible to league start with this build, but actually it's not. You actually can league start this build on a budget, which is my plan. And I did pull this build, this kind of league starter budget version, from actually MBX. And I think he played this build back in 3.14. And I just happened to find a perfect video on YouTube that shows how to league start an accuracy stacking Juggernaut build on a budget. So pretty amazing how you can find just about anything on YouTube that you just need. Yeah, the PoE community is just pretty awesome. So this is obviously a much more budget-friendly version of the build. Obviously, you can see we're using a Tabula, we're using a Tempest Longbow, we're using a Darkness Enthroned, a Hinakora Sight, really pretty cheap stuff. All these items here, probably not more than 100, 150 chaos total. So this is definitely how I'm going to be league starting the build. It's still going to work in this level, and it's just going to allow me to start farming white, yellow, and possibly even early red tier maps with this version here. And this version here is only level 70, so really actually it should work quite well. Goal of this one is we're really gonna first of all rely just on Tempest to already get some initial lightning damage. We're then gonna just get an Obscurantis as soon as you can. The nice thing now is this helm is a drop anywhere unique, so it wasn't linked to, I believe it was Minotaur, so now it's drop anywhere unique. So this thing is going to be 5 chaos day 1, day 2 of the league, so pretty cheap. Oscarm also going to be a 2 chaos unique. It's relatively common drop. I don't know if this one's still limited to Simulacrum or if it can drop anywhere. I think they do drop anywhere now, so in any case, it's going to be a 2C unique pretty early in the league. Hinakora Sight is also a really great budget version for accuracy stacking. It gives you flat 1,000 accuracy and some dodge attack, dodge spell hits, which doesn't hurt and cannot be blinded, but that's kind of whatever. I'm just going to get some rings with flat accuracy. Darkness Enthroned is also great because then you can just pick up some Searching Eye jewels that are relatively inexpensive. I'm pretty sure they removed this mod which shows the increased accuracy rating if you haven't killed recently. I'm pretty sure they removed that mod. I know one of those accuracy stacking mods was removed, but it doesn't really matter for this build because we just the flat accuracy is all we need. And as soon as possible, I definitely need to get the earliest version of the boots that give the added lightning. So there's these Windbreak boots, and I think there's even an earlier version that's like level 20, but obviously I'm not going to have access to that. Maybe by the time I'm going to start the league a little late, like 7 hours, so maybe by the time I get to somewhere around like level 30, 40, I'll be able to pick up the level 20 version of these boots. But we'll see, they might still be worth a little bit because probably all the accuracy stackers are going to want to look for the earliest version of these boots. So we'll see, but hopefully I should source most of these items pretty soon. The only ones that may be a little difficult initially are going to be the 3 Transcendent Spirits, but I would imagine I'll still pick these up definitely by day 2 or day 3 of the league. What's nice about these is I can I don't even need this whole triple jewel setup over here, but I can still socket them all in here, and every single one I think has 50 dexterity and radius, so I think it gives something like 900 dex or 900 accuracy per jewel. So it's more than enough accuracy to start the build and to get it rolling. And this version, I think, actually uses Siege Ballista, so we'll see how that works out. I think initially, before I get my hands on the boots that are needed to really get the build rolling, I might actually just run Explosive Arrow and see how that feels. just until I can get the boots and then switch to kind of the accuracy stacking version. So this is the budget version, obviously, and then this one here is pretty much the most kind of end game, multiple mirror build, basically talking about this ring. And Darkness and Throne can actually even still be a very good endgame belt as well, which I'm probably not going to. I don't know if I'll be able to get a Mage Blood, but if I do, that'd be cool. So, yeah. So shifting, and actually before I mention the other things, I'll just say that I will put the POBs of the budget starter for the accuracy, and I'll credit that to MBX. It's his budget starter league starter build, so credit goes to him for that. And then I'll put this POB in the description as well. This one I just pulled from a PoE Ninja profile that I saw, and it really looked like the best. I made some minor tweaks, but really it's I think it's basically as good as it gets. So I don't think there's much improvement that can be done. Obviously, there might be some differences with the quiver because they made the quiver changes. There might be some differences with the bow, but I really don't think so. Overall, it's going to be more or less the same gear. I don't think anything that they released is going to drastically change the build, except for one thing, and that one thing is the new Ascendancy Jewels. You may notice that I mentioned in the beginning we go Jugg to get Undeniable, and lo and behold, this is actually the only reason we go Jugg. And this new jewel that just got released allows you to get one Ascendancy node from any Ascendancy within your class, no matter what Ascendancy you currently are. So what that means is these Unstoppable, Unflinching, and Unrelenting, they're pretty nice defensive Ascendancies, but really they're all just kind of extra superfluous stuff that the build doesn't really need. Unstoppable is pretty nice because we don't have to deal with Frozen. There's so many things that slow us down now in the game. But really, it's kind of superfluous stuff that is just kind of icing on the cake for the build, and really the only thing that carries this entire build is Undeniable. As you can see, if I unspec Undeniable, the damage pretty much goes down to nothing. Well, it's not nothing, but still, having Undeniable is basically 90% of the damage of this build. So if we could potentially source the 2 jewels for Undeniable for Juggernaut, put them in these 2 areas here, probably instead of these Transcendent Spirits, I think that will be drastically better than 40, 50 dex. I mean, that's probably, again, like 1700 accuracy from these 2 jewels. If I could potentially source the Undeniable jewel and put those 2 in instead, then I could be a Berserker accuracy stacker, which is just insane. Because then I can go Aspect of Carnage, I can go Flawless Savagery, Blitz, if probably going to be enough. Well, I don't really know if you even need more attack speed, because the attack speed is already going to be ludicrous with this build. But Crave the Slaughter, and then Rite of Ruin. So there's just so much crazy things that these 2 Ascendancy Jewels can really open up. Speaking more about the Ascendancy Jewels, so that's just something to keep in mind, just with this build in particular, but there's many other instances where those 2 Ascendancy Jewels can just be pretty game-changing for any builds that rely on one specific Ascendancy node. So I'll share some others that come to mind. One of the most expensive ones I probably would imagine being not Instruments of Virtue, Inevitable Judgment. I think this is going to definitely be a 100+ Exalt jewel, just for one probably, because it's critical strikes, ignore enemy monster elemental resistances, and non-crit penetrate 10% of LE res. This single node is probably the strongest Ascendancy point in terms of damage for any elemental based build. So any crit elemental build. So everybody's going to want this. Anybody that plays a Guardian or this Templar. Wait, not Templar. What's the name of this one? Jesus. Not Templar. Hierophant. Gosh, brain fart. Hierophant also. Any build would really want Inevitable Judgment. So I think Inevitable Judgment is definitely going to be one of the top most sought after versions for that jewel. Obviously, another one which I think most people are familiar with at this point: Profane Bloom, Chaos Explosion. Really nothing to say about that. Obviously, this is going to be a pretty huge monster for really any elementalist or necromancer. I think would love to have Profane Bloom. So this is also going to be super expensive, super highly sought after. Definitely expecting this one also to be 100 plus exalts easily per jewel. Obviously, maybe it can even go up to a mirror. Same thing for Inevitable Judgment. I could definitely see that being 1 mirror per jewel. We'll just have to see how rare the jewels actually are and how often they drop. But they can definitely be pretty insane. Mistress of Sacrifice is also probably going to be a great defensive one. Looking at these ones, I think some stuff from the Trickster can definitely be pretty good. Maybe, I don't know about Prolonged Pain, but there's probably definitely some stuff that can be pretty good. Escape Artist would probably be pretty nice. Prolonged Pain could probably be quite decent. From the Assassin, I don't know if there's anything really that useful on Assassin. I know maybe something uses Elusive, but Assassin's kind of niche. I know Assassin's not really super played. A lot of stuff on Ranger too, definitely. Any of these ones here, Ricochet, Endless Munitions, all these two especially are going to be probably pretty nice. Even some stuff on like Pathfinder and Raiders is going to be great too. Then the other big one is definitely going to be over here on Duelist. Absolutely gratuitous violence. I think any Slayer or champion would definitely love gratuitous violence because it's also pretty much just like Profane Bloom, so it's another just chaos or physical explosion, but still it's another explosion, and everyone wants explosions. Fortitude is also going to be an excellent defensive one, so this I can imagine this one going for quite a bit. Slayer, potentially Masterful Form, because Masterful Form is it's a niche one. I don't actually expect it to be super expensive, but Masterful Form is actually would be pretty insane to get on a Discharge Slayer. Well, technically it doesn't have to be a Slayer now, but all the Discharge Duelist builds had to go Slayer just for Masterful Form. So this is another example of how these two jewels can just completely allow you to play a different Ascendancy for builds that otherwise had to go a specific Ascendancy because of one Ascendancy passive. So now I played a Discharge Slayer back in Ultimatum. I freaking loved it, but I had to be Slayer because of Masterful Form. So now I can go Champion, get more defense, and just pick up Masterful Form, and it's just insane. Don't know yet what they're going to do with Scion. I would imagine they might just give a couple more passive points into the tree, or give another selection or something. I don't know. But they're going to figure out something with Scion and see how that goes. But overall, that's going to be it for the two jewels. I know I've been rambling on quite a bit, which I typically always do in these videos. Overall, I'm pretty excited for the Atlas changes. I think it's definitely going to be pretty nice to... They're slowly over time kind of decluttering the Atlas, or the whole Atlas mechanic with the Watchstones. I cannot believe at one point there was 8 different regions. That is just mind-boggling to me that we were doing that, and it would take a month to get your whole Atlas fully completed with all Watchstones. And it was just maybe it didn't take a month, but it definitely at least took a week and a half to 2 weeks, and it was just a pain in the ass. And the fact that we can just kind of progress through the end game much quicker is just, I think it's going to be so nice. The new bosses look really cool. Nothing really to speak about that. And some of the unique items are pretty interesting. That triple elemental damage staff is quite interesting. They seem to be doing a lot of stuff with like resistances this league. That the I don't know how to say it. That omniscience, I know that's not how you say it. Omniscience, I don't know. But that amulet is super cool. It seems like there's going to be a lot of different things you could do with that. I think it is omniscience. Anyways, and then the jewel amulet that gives the quality and +1 also seems quite nice. I think it's definitely going to be used for probably mostly for simulacrum farmers that are just leveling Awakened Gems. So all in all, definitely excited for this league. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to play it like crazy. I am in my final clinical rotation for my physical therapy program, so I'm unfortunately working full-time right now at a clinic, and kind of bummed that on Friday I'll unfortunately be about 7.5 hours late to league start, but it is what it is. As soon as I get home, I'll definitely be playing, and hopefully still by before I go to sleep, I'll be able to at least get to maps. So still pretty excited. Still gonna play all weekend and then play next weekend and even play on weekdays after I get home. So gonna still have a lot of fun. I'm not gonna be able to no life it like crazy, but I still expect this to be a great league, and I'm super excited, and I hope you all are as well. Thanks for watching. If you made it actually through all the way to the end of this video, I am pretty astounded. I do love to ramble and just speak about so much random stuff, and my videos kind of go on and on, but that's going to be all. Thanks guys for watching. Feel free to leave any questions about the accuracy stacking build. It's going to be my first time playing it, so I'm probably going to have some questions too myself and try to get them all answered. And yeah, that is going to be it. Thank you guys for watching, and wish you the best of luck on the league start that is coming next week. Cheers.